So if you've ever tried using an AI coding assistant for a project that's, more than just a couple of simple steps, you know how messy it can get. It can feel like you're trying to build a feature and your AI is just all over the place. It's writing code, then it's updating docs, then it's trying to deploy something that isn't even finished. Well, today we're going to look at a tool that's built to bring some serious order to that chaos. Does this whole scenario sound a little too familiar? You give your AI a perfectly good multi-step plan, you look away for a second, and it's already lost the plot. It's working on step 5 before step 2 is even done. It's a super common frustration, right? Your powerful AI assistant starts acting more like a digital toddler that you have to constantly keep an eye on. And hey, this isn't just a vague feeling, it's a very real problem. This quote from a developer just nails it. They had a simple, straightforward pipeline for publishing a blog post. But without a list that understood dependencies, their AI assistant, Claude, was just bouncing between tasks randomly. This is the exact problem a tool called Claude Taskmaster was created to solve. So think about it. Instead of just handing your AI a simple to-do list and hoping for the best, what if you could give it a project manager? Something that doesn't just tell it what to do, but understands the order and the why behind every single step. And that, in a nutshell, is Claude Taskmaster. You feed it your high-level plan. It could be a formal product requirements document, a PRD, or honestly, even just a simple text file with your goals. Taskmaster then takes that plan and transforms it into a super detailed, structured task list that your AI can actually understand and, more importantly, follow in the right sequence. And you should know, this isn't some tiny, obscure tool. We're talking over 26,000 stars on GitHub. That's a massive signal from the developer community. It tells you that this tool is solving a real, widespread pain point. Clearly, people are hungry for a better way to work with their AI assistants. Okay, so how does this thing actually work? The whole idea is to build a bridge between your big-picture project plan and the actual code your AI writes, and to do it in a way that's automated and makes sense. The workflow is actually brilliant in its simplicity. First, you just write your plan. Again, this can be a fancy PRD or just a markdown file. Step 2, you run a single command and tell Taskmaster to parse that plan. It just digests it and spits out a structured list. Third, you can take a look at this list, and then, here's the magic. You just tell your AI, hey, work on the next available task. And that's it. It takes over from there. And this right here is the output. This is that same blog pipeline from before, but look at it now. It's structured. Check out those depends on and status columns. This is the game changer. The AI can literally see that deploying to Cloudflare is blocked. Why? Because it depends on the Yugo build being verified first. This stops it from jumping the gun and deploying a broken website. It injects actual logic into the workflow. So that's the key takeaway. This is so much more than a simple checklist. A normal to-do list has no rules. Taskmaster builds the rules, the logic, right in. It actually stores the dependencies and the context for every step, making sure your AI works methodically, not chaotically. All right, let's get into the setup. You might be thinking this sounds like a lot to install, but it's actually designed to fit right into a developer's world. Plus, it has some really smart features for dealing with one of the biggest headaches in AI today, that limited context window. Okay, so Taskmaster integrates using something called MCP, or Model Control Protocol. The easiest way to think about this is like a universal language that lets your code editor talk directly to different AI models. This means it's not some separate app you have to Alt-Tab to. It works right inside editors like Cursor and VS Code. And it's model agnostic. So you can bring your own model, Claude, OpenAI, Gemini, you name it. You just need the API keys. Now, anyone who's spent time working with LLMs knows the pain of the context window, right? You can only give the model so much information at one time. If you load it up with dozens of different functions, you can burn through your entire token budget before you even ask your first question. Well, Taskmaster has a really slick way of handling this. And here it is. This is their solution. They offer different tool loading modes. So for your simple day-to-day stuff, you can use Core mode. It only loads 7 essential tools and keeps your token use low, around 5,000. But for more complex projects, you can ramp it up to Standard or even All, which loads all 36 tools. This gives you really fine-grained control over your token budget, which is just a fantastic feature for power users. So, with all that said, is this the right tool for your workflow? Because look, like any tool, it's amazing for some things and maybe a bit much for others. Let's break down who this is really for. This slide lays it out pretty clearly. It's a fantastic fit if your projects have, say, 5 or more steps and you're starting from some kind of plan. If you're tired of the chaos and want structured, predictable work from your AI, this is absolutely for you. On the flip side, for a quick one-line fix, it's overkill. And if your team is already living and breathing in a tool like Jira, this might just be redundant.
And yeah, let's be real about the downsides. For a tiny little task, setting this up feels like, well, using a cannon to kill a fly. The task files it creates are in JSON, which, let's be honest, is not fun to edit by hand if you need to jump in and tweak something. And this is a big one. This is not set it and forget it. You still need to be the human in the loop, checking the AI's work before you tell it to move on.
So let's just zoom out for a minute. What does a tool like Claude Taskmaster really tell us about where all of this is going? Because this is about more than just a fancy to-do list.
What we're seeing here is a fundamental shift in how we work with our AI tools. We are moving beyond just having a simple back-and-forth chat, which can be vague and unpredictable. We're moving toward a future of structured, predictable collaboration with AI agents that can actually execute on complex plans.
And that just leaves us with this huge, fascinating question. Today, Taskmaster helps an AI follow a plan. But what's next? What happens when the AI can not only follow the plan, but create it, adapt it when things go wrong, and manage the entire project all by itself? That's the direction we're all heading in. And honestly, it's going to change everything.